On behalf of my sisters and all of my mom's family, I want to welcome you all in a very special way. And I want to thank Father Chuck, our Vicar General, and all of my brother priests who gathered this morning and joined with us. My brothers, your presence and your prayers and your support is greatly appreciated by me and also by my family. As well. Thank you. I also want to welcome all of our loved ones, our family and friends, many who traveled from afar to be here to pray for Irene. And certainly not the least among us, but all of the wonderful parishioners of the Cathedral of St. Ignatius of Loyola. As I'll probably say a few times through my homily today, this truly was Mom's home, her second home. And she loved all the parishioners here at the cathedral. And so your participation and your support is indeed a great consolation for me and my family. And it's also, I think so many of us here, a great sign of God's love for Irene. It's a testament to the love that all of us have for her, and a sign of heartfelt thanksgiving for the joy that Mom brought to so many. And before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and invite everybody right now to the reception afterwards. It's a luncheon. We'd love you to celebrate her life with us together. I know I'm probably going to forget it by the end of the Mass today, so we'll do it right now. We want you there, we welcome you, and we look forward to seeing you after Mass to celebrate her life. But we know how sad and difficult it is to say farewell to someone that we really love. We feel as though we're in the midst of a tragedy, and even though we prepare for it, when it actually happens, we're never ready. And that's never more so than when it comes to a parent or a grandparent or a sister or someone with whom we're so very close. I know for myself, for the first couple of days after Mom's passing, I did a lot of crying. I have Kleenex strategically placed around the sanctuary just in case. But it certainly is a time of mourning and a great loss. And it's going to take time and prayer to move beyond that sense of loss that our family and friends feel. But as I began to think about the readings chosen for today and what I would say, I felt drawn to our first reading from the prophet Isaiah. And he was writing to the Hebrew people who had suffered tragedy and defeat and exile. And so they were experiencing great loss and suffering. Well, the prophet's words to them of promise and of salvation, I think, help to give us who mourn today for Mom a better perspective. God will destroy death forever. The Lord will wipe away tears from all faces. These words are now spoken to us. They're spoken to me in a very special way. And they give us hope. And if we let that sink into our minds and into our hearts, I think we'll be able to do what Isaiah counsels us to do. He says, let us rejoice and be glad that he has saved us. And indeed, we rejoice and we are glad. For he has saved Irene, our mother, our grandmother, our sister, our friend. Now that doesn't mean that we won't cry. Certainly we will. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't mourn. And it doesn't mean that we won't miss Irene greatly. The coming days and weeks, especially for our family, will be difficult. But yet we are joyful. But it reminds us that despite our pain and despite our grief, we do have reason to be joyful and to be happy. Because of our belief in the fact that because of her faith, Irene will be glorified with Christ, and we renew our hope in the victory of Christ over sin and death. And so we pray today in a special way that she be at peace with her loving Savior, surrounded by her husband Thomas and her loved ones who have gone before. In every life, every once in a while, we have the privilege to know some rare individuals who have a firm sense of purpose and an understanding of God's plan for them and role for them in this life. And certainly, Mom was one of those people. She was a woman who lived her life, each and every day, with a sense of joy. She was always happy. You never know by talking to her that she actually had many difficult times and many difficult experiences in life. In the past 12 years or so alone, she lived in nearly constant pain and was unable to walk. And in the 2+ years since she lost Dad, her quality of life continued to diminish little bit by little bit. But she never complained. She was never down for long. She was always smiling, and she refused to let adversity or pain get her down. What a great gift. What a wonderful witness and example. She always had a cheerful and an upbeat attitude. And we all love that about Mom. If you were around her, you couldn't help but be in a good mood, because she really did love life. She was always sharing a joke or a funny story, and her laugh was infectious. Thankfully, I was able to get that on video a few times as well. And what a great blessing that was. And she made everybody around her forget about their troubles. That was who Mom was. And so my mother was a woman of sweet innocence and humble dignity that rarely had a cross or negative word to say about anyone, unless, of course, she felt that a member of her family was being harmed or threatened in some way, and then you couldn't get her to shut up. I know it may sound like I'm just being biased, and yes, I am. But Mom always saw the good in others, and she was always willing to forgive. She loved her friends and her family so much that if it was in her power to help them in any way that she could, she would find a way to do it. She would go out of her way to do it, even if she got me to do it under protest. And that didn't happen quite often. Those of us who knew her know how well that she was so very giving and very talented. She really was one of a kind, and even into her late 80s, she was always the life of the party, even though she never sought to be the center of attention. Her gifts and her talents were always manifest through her true passions in life. And I'd like just briefly to speak about a few of those passions, if you would indulge a son who was so proud of his mother. First, her family. She loved and did everything for her husband Tom. She was by his side for 54 years. Mom showed her love for him and for us by her willingness to care for us and for our needs. I used to joke all the time with her that she was a little too much like Martha, not enough like Mary at the feet of Jesus. And that really was the case, but she didn't care. In Dad's case, just to give you an idea, to his dying day, he did not know which machine was the washer and which was the dryer. Mom always took care of it. And when Mom and Dad fought, it was usually because Mom had put another winning dog track ticket through the wash before Dad had a chance to get it. And as far as us kids were concerned, she worked hard all of her life to provide, yes, for our physical needs, but more importantly, she made us know that we were not just cared for, but genuinely loved. She never judged us, even when we made mistakes, and those were many, but lovingly accepted us for who we were and who we are. For my part, I had the wonderful blessing, especially in my time so close by to her here at the cathedral, of spending a lot of time with her and getting to know her in a new and different way. Some of my greatest and most treasured memories are the times when I was able to travel with Mom. We went far and wide. We had some great adventures together, and she very much appreciated and enjoyed the beauty of God's creation. And she mentioned that often. She always spiritualized her travel experiences. We traveled together, but we prayed together. We enjoyed our company together, but we did so with an understanding that it was a great gift from God. I was blessed to be able to see many of the different areas and parts of the world through her eyes. What a great blessing and gift that was. And yes, as she got older, I took on the role of caregiver a little bit more. But in reality, she was the one who was continuing to care for me and share her love with me. She stayed with us, my sisters and my family, through sheer determination. Even though she wanted to go to God probably a long time ago, she kept on saying, "Why am I still here?" And then she would say, "It's because of you. It's because of my children, my family." She stayed strong through sheer determination amidst suffering and pain to make sure that I and my siblings and her grandchildren and family would be okay. She, along with my dad, had given me my faith. And together they had a great influence upon my call to be a priest. I truly had the best of role models. We'll go into what happened to me in another homily. But it was in the nearly 26 years after my ordination that I had the privilege and joy of experiencing an ever-deepening friendship with her. She continued to teach me, as she did with all of her children, how to live a life of joy, of love, of humility, of forgiveness, and of trust in God's plan. Now, she wasn't technologically savvy. In fact, she never really could figure out the whole internet thing. And she had, the day she died, the precursor to the flip phone. And watching moving pictures on the phone would make her dizzy. So you know where she was coming from. Now, as far back as when Princess Diana died in a parish car crash back in 1997 while being chased by the paparazzi, my mother innocently and seriously wondered why the famous tenor Pavarotti would be chasing Princess Diana. She couldn't figure that out. Or when my nephew Justin was applying for colleges and he was accepted to the University of Florida, my mother proudly told some friends of mine that Justin was going to FU. So not is UF. Not the other way around. And she laughed when she realized her mistake, as she always did. Mom was, I think, able to tangibly express the beauty and majesty of the Lord in the world around her, even in the smallest of things, through another of her passions, the artwork that she created. She loved to paint. She loved to create. And she painted entire walls with beautiful religious murals and intricate scenes of nature. Just about every house that we lived in, she left behind paintings on the wall. And I think it actually improved the value of the property, but she did a wonderful job. I have a couple of trifold wooden screens commemorating the Eucharist and the priesthood that I will treasure forever, that she fashioned for me. And then there were her numerous creations. In the bathroom, she's had for years a ceramic stump that she painted standing next to the toilet with his paws pinched over his nose that she referred to as Stinky. He's still there. Creating her masterpieces brought her joy, and she always gave them away to family and to friends and to the church as well. And again, by the way, she loved this church so much, and the beautiful friendships that she forged here at the Cathedral of St. Ignatius through the various ministries that she was involved with here. Again, this was her second home. And yes, we all miss and always cherish her innocent and humble spirit, and will miss her talents and her laughter. But one of the most important things I know we'll miss is her wisdom. She knew people, and she was empathetic and loving, and she tried always to know God better. She was a simple soul with great wisdom, because as a disciple, she followed the path of wisdom. She was wise because she embodied the Beatitudes, which we heard proclaimed by Deacon John this morning. Mom really was poor in spirit. Mom was meek. Mom always hungered and thirsted for righteousness. Mom was merciful. Mom was clean of heart. Mom was a peacemaker both in our family and with others. And she was willing to be persecuted for righteousness when she took a stand many times in life for what was right and for what was good, even when it wasn't popular. Irene truly lived the Beatitudes with more faith and more love than anyone else that I've ever known. She was wise because she saw, as St. Paul tells us, the mind of Christ. And though she always looked forward to her heavenly reward, she lived and she loved in the manner that she did, not for her own benefit, but out of a genuine sense of care and love for others, especially the poor and the needy, and out of a genuine, heartfelt love for the Lord. In fact, I would be remiss in not mentioning that next passion that I wanted to mention, that other than her family, Mom's passion and concern for the poorest among us was her overriding priority. I see Father O'Loughlin out among the priests today, and she worked very much with you, Father O'Loughlin, and with the priests here at the cathedral, with the poor. And throughout her life, she cared for the elderly and the forgotten. She cared for the poor and for the homeless. And she never wanted credit for any of it. But I wanted to mention how proud our family is that it was our mother who received what was called the Golden Rule Award from the J.C. Penney Company back in the mid-1980s. And that was because Mom was the person who organized and began the now famous Food for Families drive here in Palm Beach County. She organized and led dozens of people. She gathered thousands of cans and bags of food, collected it, and fed thousands of people. The truth is that none of us could keep track of the number of hours Mom worked to serve others. From raising money through weekly canasta games, to providing food for the Lord's Place Soup Kitchen, to volunteering in our parish social ministries program, and to actively helping the homeless. In fact, I'll never forget the time I came home from school to find a homeless man sleeping in my bed. That was Mom. Or the time she volunteered to house an entire busload of deaf children at our house so that they could go on a retreat at our parish when none of the other volunteers would take them in. That was Mom. Mom, thank you for allowing me to share your life with all of us here today. And I thank all of you for allowing me to share some of the thoughts and precious memories that we have of her. And now, through the intercession of the Blessed Mother, whom she loved so much, we entrust her soul to the Lord, and we focus our attention and our hope on Jesus Christ and his great promise, as Mary, our mother, always did. The Lord, in his divine mercy, will indeed wipe away the tears from all our faces. The reproach of his people he will remove from the whole earth, for the Lord has spoken. And so, Mom, we come to the last farewell. Thank you for everything. We know that you look down upon us now and want us to be happy because you are happy and you are where you have prepared to be through your love and your ministry. Prepared to be there for your whole life. Know that we are and that we will be all right. As you continue to walk in the light of Christ, so too shall we. As you lived your life according to the Beatitudes, so too will we try to do the same. And as always, we have a great example in you, a great model in you, and Mary, our mother, the mother of the church. May you enjoy eternal rest, peace, and happiness. We look forward to when you will greet us at the gates of heaven with the Lord when he comes. Amen.
Amen.